48 million Americans get food poisoning every year. 48 million. That's roughly 1 in 6 people in this country. And according to the CDC, the number one location where it starts isn't a restaurant, isn't a fast food joint, isn't some sketchy street vendor. It's your home kitchen. And the single most overlooked source of contamination in that kitchen, your cutting board, the thing you put your family's food on every single day. Now here's what nobody's telling you. There's a liquid that costs less than $1 that has been scientifically proven to kill Salmonella, E. coli, Staphylococcus aureus, and a whole list of other pathogens on contact. And it does it more efficiently than most of the expensive commercial products lining your grocery store shelves. It's called bamboo vinegar, and there's a very specific reason you've never heard of it. Stay with me here, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what bamboo vinegar is, why the science behind it is genuinely remarkable, and why a regulatory system that's supposed to protect you has effectively made it almost impossible for companies to market this thing to you as a cleaner. That last part is the part that should make you angry. But first, let's talk about what's actually living on your cutting board right now. Microbiologist research has confirmed something that most people find genuinely disturbing. Bacteria on a cutting board can double roughly every 20 minutes at room temperature. So if you cut raw chicken on your board at noon, do a quick rinse, and come back to prep vegetables at 1 p.m., you're potentially working on a surface with exponentially more bacterial load than when you started. And here's the part that dish soap alone does not fully solve. Those tiny knife grooves carved into the surface of your board, bacteria hide in there. It's like a microscopic apartment complex, and regular soap and water is like knocking on the front door very politely. It doesn't always get inside. Now this is the point where most videos are going to tell you to just use diluted bleach, or to spend $15, $20, even $30 on a specialty cutting board sanitizer. And sure, bleach works, nobody's arguing that. But bleach is also corrosive. It breaks down the natural fibers of bamboo and wood boards over time. It's harsh on your skin, and it leaves chemical residues that you then have to be very careful about rinsing off completely before food prep. The cleaning products industry is a $15 billion market in the United States alone. There's a lot of money in keeping you loyal to the spray bottle under your sink. There's almost no money in telling you about a $1 solution that's been used for centuries. So let me tell you what bamboo vinegar actually is, because it's not what you think. It's not regular white vinegar from your pantry. Bamboo vinegar, also called pyroligneous acid, is a liquid byproduct that forms during the production of bamboo charcoal. And when bamboo is heated in a kiln at temperatures between 310 and 900 degrees Celsius in a low oxygen environment, the smoke condenses. That condensate is bamboo vinegar, and what's inside it is extraordinary. Scientists have identified over 200 distinct organic chemical compounds in bamboo vinegar, 200. The main component is acetic acid, which is the same active component in regular vinegar. But bamboo vinegar also contains phenolic compounds, cresols, guaiacol, xylenols, and dozens of other bioactive molecules that regular distilled white vinegar simply does not have. Quick message for those who haven't subscribed yet. My analytics show that roughly 3 out of 4 people watching right now are not subscribed. If this kind of research-backed information is useful to you and cuts through the noise of generic kitchen advice, hit subscribe. It helps me keep this channel going and helps the algorithm show this to more people who actually need to see it. I appreciate it. Now back to the science, because this is where it gets genuinely fascinating. A study published in the World Journal of Microbiology and Biotechnology in 2023 tested bamboo wood vinegar against 6 major pathogens: Staphylococcus aureus, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Salmonella enteritidis, Escherichia coli, Streptococcus agalactiae, and Candida albicans. Those are not obscure bacteria. Those are the things that land people in the hospital. The study confirmed that bamboo vinegar demonstrated significant antimicrobial activity against all of them, and this is the part that surprised the researchers. Bamboo vinegar outperformed eucalyptus wood vinegar in overall efficiency. And the reason came down to chemical composition. Bamboo vinegar had a notably higher content of phenolic compounds, with phenol making up 15.3% of its organic fraction. Phenols are not gentle cleaners. They disrupt bacterial cell walls. They cause cell membranes to rupture and leak their contents. When the researchers looked at electron microscope images of the bacteria after exposure to bamboo vinegar, they saw cells with visible deformities, structural damage, collapsing walls. This isn't a mild cleaning suggestion. This is documented, peer-reviewed destruction of pathogens. A separate study published in Science Direct found that bamboo vinegar produced at 310 degrees Celsius showed its strongest activity specifically against Staphylococcus aureus, which, for context, is one of the most common causes of skin infections and food poisoning in the world, and one of the hardest to fully eliminate from porous kitchen surfaces. And another research group studying the antiviral properties of pyrrolinious acid, published in ACS Sustainable Chemistry and Engineering, found that phenolic compounds from bamboo vinegar, particularly catechol and its derivatives, showed the ability to disrupt viral activity as well. Now, let me be very clear. This research is about laboratory conditions, and you shouldn't be treating bamboo vinegar as a medical product. But as a kitchen surface cleaner, the documented science is far more robust than the zero research backing most of the products you're currently paying premium prices for. Here's where this story gets a bit darker, and I need you to really pay attention to this next part. Bamboo vinegar has been used for over 1,000 years across Japan, China, and Southeast Asia. In Japan, it's a mainstream product sold in grocery stores and home goods shops without any controversy. Farmers use it as a natural soil amendment, a plant growth regulator, and a pest deterrent. It's approved as a food additive in multiple countries. The United States FDA's own FEMA expert scientific panel, the Flavor and Extract Manufacturers Association, which advises on food safety, has evaluated pyrrolinious acid and classified it as generally recognized as safe, what they call GRAS status. GRAS. The FDA's own advisory body has looked at this substance and said it's safe for human food use. So why can't you walk into an American grocery store and buy a bottle of bamboo vinegar, marketed as a cutting board cleaner? Here's the regulatory puzzle. Under the EPA's Federal Insecticide, Fungicide, and Rodenticide Act, FIFRA, any product making specific antimicrobial claims on its label, meaning any product that says kills bacteria or disinfects on the packaging, has to go through a formal EPA registration process. That process costs millions of dollars and years of time. Small producers of bamboo vinegar, which is largely a niche, traditional product, cannot afford that registration. And the large cleaning product companies who could afford it have absolutely no interest in registering a $1 natural alternative that would cannibalize their existing product lines. So bamboo vinegar sits in regulatory limbo. The FDA says it's safe to consume. The research says it kills pathogens with remarkable efficiency. But because no corporation has paid to register it as an EPA-approved antimicrobial surface cleaner, companies aren't allowed to tell you it cleans surfaces. The product exists, the science exists, the commercial infrastructure to keep you away from it also exists. Now, let me be balanced here, because this isn't a conspiracy theory, it's just how regulatory systems work when money is involved. Nobody at the EPA sat in a room and said, let's protect the Lysol industry. The FIFRA registration process exists for legitimate reasons. It prevents dangerous, unproven products from being marketed as sanitizers. That's a good thing in principle. But the side effect of an expensive registration system is that naturally occurring, well-studied substances with no corporate champion simply never get registered. And that's a problem worth knowing about. Let me also tell you what this substance is not good for, because honesty matters here. Undiluted bamboo vinegar, like undiluted white vinegar, can be acidic enough to damage bamboo fibers with repeated use if you're soaking the board in it. That's not what we're talking about. The application here is targeted, diluted, and deliberate. And if you're considering bamboo vinegar for any purpose beyond kitchen cleaning, talk to a professional. This video is about cutting board care specifically. All right, let me actually show you how the trick works, because it's genuinely simple. And I'm going to give you the method that aligns with both the scientific research and the traditional practice used in Asia for centuries. You wash your cutting board first with warm water and a mild dish soap. Nothing fancy, just your normal cleaning step. Rinse it completely. Now here's where the bamboo vinegar comes in. You dilute it, roughly 1 part bamboo vinegar to 2 or 3 parts water. You apply that diluted solution to the surface of your board with a cloth or spray bottle. You let it sit for 3 to 5 minutes. That's the dwell time that allows the phenolic compounds to do their work on any residual bacteria. Then you rinse it off completely with warm water and dry the board immediately. Bamboo and wood boards should never sit wet. That causes warping and creates conditions for mold. Let it air dry standing upright, so air circulates on all sides. Then, once a month or whenever the board looks dry, you condition it with food-grade mineral oil to keep the fibers sealed and strong. The result? A cutting board that is not just surface clean, but genuinely decontaminated, conditioned, and protected. And here's the lifespan element that makes this genuinely different from commercial cleaning sprays. Most commercial disinfectants contain chemicals that, over time, break down the protective surface of your board. Every time you use them, you're accelerating the degradation of the material. Bamboo vinegar, when used correctly and diluted, doesn't fight your board. The organic acids and phenols evaporate or rinse cleanly. The board stays intact. People who practice this method, and there are communities of kitchen enthusiasts in Japan where this is simply standard practice, report using the same bamboo cutting boards for 15, 20 years without replacement. Compare that to the average American kitchen, where cutting boards are replaced every year or two because of staining, odor, cracking, and visible wear that accumulates from both use and harsh cleaning chemicals. At $15 to $30 per replacement board, plus the ongoing cost of cleaning products, you're looking at potentially hundreds of dollars over a decade. The bamboo vinegar approach, once you factor in a one-time investment of mineral oil and a small bottle of bamboo vinegar that lasts for months, runs you a fraction of that. Now let me give you the practical knowledge framework here, because there are some things you absolutely need to know before you try this. First, source matters enormously. Bamboo vinegar varies significantly in quality depending on how it's produced. Look for refined bamboo vinegar, sometimes labeled bamboo pyroligneous acid, that has been clarified, meaning the tar compounds have been removed. Unrefined bamboo vinegar can contain polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, and you do not want those on a food prep surface. Refined bamboo vinegar is clear to light amber in color. If it's very dark and murky, it hasn't been properly processed. This is why product quality matters, and why doing a bit of reading before you buy is worth the 5 minutes. Second, do not confuse this with bamboo-flavored vinegar or rice vinegar or anything sold as a food condiment vinegar. Those are edible vinegars. Bamboo vinegar for cleaning purposes is a different product entirely. Even though both come from bamboo, the confusion in labeling is real, especially in online marketplaces where you're importing from Asian suppliers. Third, this is not a substitute for proper food safety habits. If you're cutting raw poultry, use a dedicated board for that purpose and clean it every single time without exception. Bamboo vinegar enhances your cleaning routine. It doesn't replace basic hygiene practices. Fourth, if you have a plastic cutting board, the bamboo vinegar method is less relevant because plastic boards can typically go in a dishwasher where high heat sanitizes effectively. This method is specifically ideal for bamboo and hardwood boards that can't tolerate dishwasher conditions. And fifth, always let your board dry completely before storing it. Moisture trapped against any porous surface is the enemy. The bacteria don't care how good your cleaning solution was if you've created a damp environment for them to grow back in overnight. Let me bring this full circle to where we started. 48 million Americans, food poisoning every year in their own homes, from surfaces they use every day and trust implicitly. The cutting board sitting on your counter right now is either an asset to your kitchen or a liability to your family's health, and the difference comes down almost entirely to how you're cleaning it and what you're cleaning it with. The bamboo vinegar solution isn't a magic trick. It's a well-studied natural compound that 1,000 years of traditional practice and now an expanding body of peer-reviewed scientific research both confirm is genuinely effective. It costs less than $1. It's been approved as safe by the FDA's own advisory panel. And the only reason you've never seen it marketed to you at Walmart is because the regulatory pathway that would allow that marketing costs more money than anyone making a traditional natural product can afford to spend, while the companies that could afford it are busy protecting their existing product lines. Knowledge is the asset here. You now know what this substance is, what the research says, how to use it correctly, and why the system around it looks the way it does. That knowledge is genuinely valuable, and it costs you nothing to use it. One last thing before you go. Drop a comment and tell me, are you currently using bamboo or wood cutting boards? And what's your cleaning routine right now? I genuinely want to know, because your answers help me figure out what to dig into next. I read every single comment on this channel. Your experience helps shape what gets covered. If this video gave you something useful, a fact you didn't know, a perspective that shifted something for you, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to keep getting this kind of deep dive, evidence-backed content without the fluff. And the next video is something I think is going to genuinely surprise you. We're getting into another everyday kitchen tool that has a similar story. Something ancient, something cheap, something effective, and something the modern food industry has almost completely buried. You won't want to miss it. I'll see you in the next one.